Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Savita. Today we are going to discuss about a module number 8, linkages between the major components of the tourism industry from the paper Tourism Products of India. After completing this module, you will be able to understand the major components of tourism industry, understand the essential requirements of tourism industry, and also understand factors about tourist behavior. The early motivations of travel were food, safety, trade, and in rare cases adventure and exploration. The change in outlook came with development and modernization. Technology proved to be the key factor for progress, growth, new ideas, and modernization. Literally, the inventions of the wheel rolled things into motion and human civilization never looked back. Every invention led to new horizon, roads, cars, inns, ships, trains, motor cars and airplanes changed the very motive for traveling. People became travelers by choice and enjoyed trotting the world for leisure, pleasure, adventure, exploration, research, business and so much more. As governments stabilized the infrastructures, improved the fascination for travel increased, especially for the purpose of education, sightseeing and religion today. Today, tourism has becoming a household activity. It is no longer an elusive activity for the rich and famous. Most countries, including India, has made tourism industry their priority sector. The tourism industry has the potential to have tremendous impact on the economies of countries. In fact, it is the driving economic force of many countries, for example, Spain, Thailand, etc. Tourism is a multi-level sector which requires cooperation and coordination among its various components and elements. The basic component of tourism are known as the 3A of tourism, namely attraction, accessibility and accommodation. Apart from these basic components, tourism also comprises of other peripheral components that support and add on to the phenomena of tourism. The peripheral components of tourism include amenities, activities, technology, awareness, intermediaries, ancillary services, travel associates and government regulatory bodies. Tourism is an amalgamation of products that include tangible and intangibles. Tourism involves activities, services and industries that deliver a complete travel experience. This includes the attraction, destination, transportation, accommodation, eating and drinking services, retail and entertainment, businesses, activities and other hospitality service providers for traveling individuals or groups traveling away from home. The World Tourism Organization claims that tourism is currently the world's largest industry with annual revenue of over $3 trillion. Definition of tourism. Matheson and Wall in 1982 created a good working definition of tourism as the temporary movements of people to destinations outside their normal places of work and residence, the activities undertaken during their stay in those destinations and the facilities created to cater to their needs. According to McIntosh and Gullner, tourism is the sum of the phenomena and relationship arising from the interaction of tourists, business suppliers, host governments and host communities in the process of attracting and hosting these tourists and other visitors. Travel and tourism are two different phenomena. Travel involves moving away from your usual place of work or stay to a distant or a nearby place by using a mode of transportation. Even regular commutation can be categorized as travel, whereas tourism is traveling with a purpose or motivation apart from the daily or regular routine. We can say all tourism essentially includes travel, but all travel doesn't essentially involve tourism. Traveling is the bigger picture, whereas tourism is just a part. The common angle between the travel and tourism is they are both temporary movements. Travel motivation. The reasons people travel away from home are leisure, business, pilgrimage, social, maybe visit friends and relatives, health and wellness, special interest of hobby, culture, shopping, personal motivations, adventure and sports, status. Apart from the above factors, there are also certain underlying factors that affect the decision of the traveler. These are environment at destination, economy of the country, historical and cultural importance of destination, research importance of destination, religious importance of destination, technology, essential requirements for tourism. First of all, time. Time is an important factor. An increase in leisure time means more opportunities for travel and tourism. School calendars, long weekends, corporate, time off patterns all affect the overall travel pattern of traveling. Money. Tourism is a luxurious activity, therefore requires discretionary income, that is the income which is left when all essential obligations, that is food, clothing, rent, taxation, etc. have been taken care of. Mobility. The convenience of accessing a destination in terms of transportation available is time taken is an important factor in the decision making. Motivation. Motivation is mostly a personal choice of the traveler. It may be influenced by tourists' desire for leisure, pleasure, status, adventure, etc. The tourist is an important to study tourist behavior because the tourist, traveler, guest, client, passenger is at the center of all tourism activity. Therefore, it is extremely important to understand tourist and tourist behavior before planning for any kind of tourism development. The various components of tourism must be planned and aligned as per the demand of the tourist, who must be the core of all planning and executing activity. Factors affecting tourist behavior. The following aspects greatly influence tourist behavior, that is geographical components, social elements, place of origin, tourist destination, education of tourists, etc. Internal factors of motivation. Internal factors guide and influence one's decision for traveling. This is also known as intrinsic motivation. For most people, the motivation for travel comes from within. The ultimate travel decision depends on one's capabilities on different emotional levels. Attitudes of tourists. Tourists' perception, values or beliefs, personality of the tourist. External factors of motivation. External factors to arouse and lead the tourist toward a particular motivation and their ensuring decision making. These are extrinsic motivations, for example, place of origin, family and age, culture or social, market. Bloch classifies tourists into three categories as described below. Allocentric tourist, he is a wanderer who looks for new adventures and explored territories. Physiocentric tourist, he is the repeater, not very adventurous and looking for known territories, the main purpose of their travel being leisure, pleasure and relaxation. Mid-centric tourist, he is the combination of the above two categories. Such tourists don't opt for crowded destinations but nor have the adventurous streak. They like to choose destinations that have certain level of amenities and comforts. Henley Center model of holiday making, a British consultancy of futurology, Henley Center has segregated the tourist in 4 phases. According to the center, tourists move from one phase to the next according to their comfort level. Some tourists move up with the time and experience, but others stick to their own phase and do not like to adventure into other phases. Phase 1 are the bubble travelers. They prefer ready-made tour packages. They shy away from direct interaction with the locals. Phase 2 are the idealized experience seekers. They prefer customized tour packages so that there is flexibility in their itineraries. They like local interactions, though only to a certain extent. Phase 3 are the seasoned travelers. They are experimental in nature, mostly because they are seasoned travelers. They enjoy, rather look forward to direct local cultural interactions. Phase 4 are the complete immersives. These are seasoned adventurers who are willing to explore the local culture to the fullest. Their travel is well planned yet not very restrictive in nature. The above phases clearly show the journey of a tourist from a hesitant tourist to an adventure seeker. This process may sometimes be slow but quite fast in some cases. The components of tourism is planned and reported according to the category of tourists that opt for the destination. The destination should be managed according to the perception the tourist holds for it. Tourism management, it comprises the management of multiple components such as studying the destination, framing tourism industry friendly policies, planning the attraction, defining routes to assess the destination through viable, that is time, duration, money and comfort, modes of transportation, setting up the accommodation sector through creating favorable conditions for business and investment, planning add-on activities at the destination apart from the main attraction, creating awareness about the destination through marketing and promotion, establishing the facilities required for tourists' everyday need and comfort, planning the tour, conducting farm tours for the travel intermediaries to promote the destination. All this involve proper use of manpower, money, material, technology and time. The components of tourism. These are most important components in tourism industry. These are attraction, accessibility, accommodation, activities, amenities, ancillary services, intermediaries, government regulatory bodies, travel and tourism associates, awareness, technology. The following components define the tourist's needs and demands. Developing a suitable combination of these factors is at the heart of tourism planning. Attraction. Attraction is one of the basic components of the tourism phenomenon. It inspires potential tourists to travel. People are attracted and therefore motivated to visit these attractions, and if all conditions are favorable, eventually take the final decision for their travel to that attraction. By favorable conditions, it is mean that the variety of attractions present in that area has to match the interest of the potential tourist and support his expectations by means of other components such as accessibility, accommodation, activities, amenities, etc. Attraction is a major motivating factor for the tourist. It creates the initial desire in the tourist to further research the attraction. There are three types of attractions which are as follow: man-made attractions. These attractions are places which came into existence because of human efforts, especially as the human civilization grew and progressed. These primarily include sites related to human or natural history, religion, sites with exceptional handicrafts, folklore, theme parks, adventure sports, museum, trade, etc. Natural attractions. These are natural sites or natural resources created by nature. For example, vegetation, wildlife, drylands, wetlands, caves, waterfalls, hot geysers, beaches, canyons, coral reefs, etc. Symbiotic attractions. These are created to highlight or increase the magnificence of natural attractions through human intervention. In such cases, the natural attraction is somehow enhanced by human effort. The intention behind this is to make the natural site more human friendly. For example, beach resorts, ski resorts, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, etc. These symbiotic sites are major attractions for potential tourists. These places hold attraction because of their innate or showcased significance. This quality might be natural, cultural, historical, etc. The attraction typically offers something desired by the potential tourist like leisure, comfort, culture, adventure, ethnicity or amusement. Attraction are the foundation of tourism. They are the prime factors that need to be considered while assessing the tourism potential of a destination. Destinations may offer a particular or a variety of attractions which may be natural, man-made or symbiotic, yet some flourish and other fails as tourist destination due to their distance pull. Distance pull means how important an attraction is to a tourist when compared to the distance he needs to travel or inconvenience he has to undergo to experience it. It is important to be realistic while evaluating attractions in terms of their distance pull. In most cases, destinations that have a strong distance pull are those which are relevant and compatible with the product strength. Accessibility. Transport is unanimously accepted as one of the most vital factors that holds the key to international, national and domestic movement of people in general and tourists in particular. It provides the essential link between the push and pull factors of the traveler. Sometimes the transportation is considered as the tourism product itself. For example, the place on wheel train, the Changi airport in Singapore, cruise ships, etc. One of the total travelling budget, 60% to 80% expenditure is under the budget head transportation. Transportation is the ticket to development of an area. Development of the means of accessibility depends firstly on the geographical structure of the region. Secondly, it depends on the policies, strategies, vision, mission and tactics adopted by a country. Transportation is considered as the backbone of the tourism industry. Mode of transport. Road transport. A road transport is identifiable route, way or path between two or more places. It is a typically smooth and paved path to allow easy travel from one point to another. Road transport offers flexibility to its users to travel across the length and breadth of the country and sometimes even across international borders. Road transport is the backbone of all travel and tourism. No matter what kind of transportation one uses to reach a destination, they still need road transportation as a means for traveling. Locally, road transport has given a boost to many genres of tourism such as highway tourism, weekend tourism, etc. This freedom to change location, direction, speed and timings of travel is not offered by other modes of transportation, and only road transport offer door-to-door service. Rail transport. Rail transport is where a train runs along a set of two parallel steel rails known as a railway or railroad. A train consists of one or more connected vehicles that run on the rails. Intercity trains are long-haul services connected cities. Modern high-speed rail is capable of speed up to 350 km in hour, but this requires a special track. Rail transport has proven to be a boon for the development of domestic tourism. Rail transport covers almost all the whole length and breadth of the country and allow tourists to travel to their chosen destination at an affordable price. Another interesting aspect of tourism by rail is that certain trains are a tourism product by themselves. For example, the toy train of India are UNESCO World Heritage. Therefore, they are both a means of transport as well as a tourist product. Luxury trains like the Palace on Wheels, the Deccan Odyssey, etc. are just not simply trains, a means of transport, rather they tourism products in themselves. Water transportation. Water transport is movement on water with the help of ships, boats, ferries, catamarans, etc. In ancient times, water transport was mostly used for trade purposes. Ships were used for carrying cargo from one country to another. Water transport was also availed during wars to carry soldiers. By and by, water transport became a means for carrying passengers, especially for international travel. Today, water transport is important part of the tourism industry, and the luxurious cruise liners are complete tourism product in themselves. These cruise ships offer the major components of tourism such as attraction, accessibility and accommodation. In many parts of the world and in few parts of India, water transportation is not only used in seas and oceans, rather it is popular means and sometimes the only means of river transportation. Air transport. Airplanes are one of the big innovations of man, especially in the field of travel and tourism. All travel has made the world a small neighborhood. International boundaries and getting across the seas are no more big issues. The time taken by travel has been cut short drastically. and assessing far across places is no more. Globe-trotting is the new fashion and exploring a new country every time the new norm. All this is possible because of air transportation and the constant new developments in this field. Today, the airlines are forerunners in customer care. Loyalty programs are offered to the regular passengers under the frequent flyer program to encourage the passengers toward being loyal to a specific airline so that their flying miles may be converted to points, and these accumulated points can be redeemed against travel, gift, vouchers, etc. The major requirements to visit assess include safe and secure and convenient transportation, maintained and developed airports, railway stations and seaports, maintained roads with appropriate signage, proper parking facilities, accommodation. Accommodation is an important criteria of tourism development. The tourist destination must be well provided with different categories of accommodations which take care of the boarding and lodging needs of the tourist stay at the destination. Accommodation units, or sometimes known as property, are places where the tourists can receive food and lodging for a payment. Today, a wide variety of accommodations are available, ranging from an economy or budget hotel to super luxury star category suite. Accommodation is a major concern of every traveler, whether looking for just bed and breakfast or a luxurious star category hotel with all the works. In the beginning, hotels were described as a home away from home, but in the current scenario, hotels claim themselves to be better home away from home. A tourist needs some kind of shelter at the destination which he is visiting, lacking which he would not commence his travel towards such a place. This simply but strongly draws our attention to the fact attraction and accessibility are not sufficient criteria for engaging the interest of a tourist. Rather, when these two are in place, accommodation relating infrastructure should be developed at the priority level if the destination needs to be promoted as the tourist destination. Accommodation is an important component of the tourist demand and supply equation. The accommodation sector plays an important role in the image building of a destination, like the other basic elements, attraction and accessibility. Accommodation sector is another key component of tourism. Accommodation come in innumerable sizes and varieties now. The budget category starts from dharmshalas, homestays and sarais, which only provide the basic minimum lodging and boarding facility. The economy category includes the 2 and 3-star hotels which facilitate the tourist with a certain level of comfort, amenities, Amenities are the beneficial services required for meeting the needs of tourists while they are at the destination. These services generally increase the perceived value of the destination. They are also defined as complementary services which support tourists to enjoy the main attraction. These amenities comprise of restaurants, bar facilities, visitor information centers, communication centers, electricity, roads, drinking water, proper signage, emergency services, retail stores, souvenir shops, hospitality services, local transportation, public toilets, guide service, garbage bins, etc. Most amenities are simultaneously used by locals as well as the tourists at the destination. Therefore, clockwork degree of coordination is required for managing these amenities so as to supply them in sufficient flow to the local as well as the tourist. It is also important to keep a balance between the demand and supply of these services, as their demand may fluctuate according to tourist season. Amenities are such services that most visitors do not even notice until they are not provided at the destination. A destination that provides a major attraction but lacks amenities is not likely to increase the tourist inflow and economic benefits from tourism. On the other hand, a destination that develops amenities without attraction will also face dearth of tourist inflow. Ancillary services. On arrival at their destination, tourists require many services. Ancillary services means the extra services related to travel and tourism such as car hire, insurance and banking. Ancillary services refer to agencies that provide services which do not have a direct role in travel and tourism but play a supporting role, perhaps offering related products and services. Example of a travel agency, the main product it sells is holidays, flight reservations, hotel reservations, but it offers a wide range of ancillary services in order to provide a wider as well as complete range of services to its clients and earn extra revenue. Ancillary services include foreign language, car rental, luggage transportation, theatre and event tickets, guide services, banking services, etc. The commission earned on the sale of these items is often higher than the travel agent receives for selling his regular services like holiday packages and reservations. Therefore, there are important extra income generators. The companies which provide such ancillary services are growing in numbers either to the service vendors or directly to the public, that is holiday extras. Travel and tourism associations. Travel associations can be broadly categorized into two categories. One is national and the second one is international. National associations are formal group of members working in the same trade, that is travel agents, Association of India, is an association of travel agents, whereas Indian Association of Tour Operators is an association of tour operators. Federation of Hotels and Restaurants Association has hotels and restaurants as its member. The main objective of such associations are cooperation among the members, increase in business opportunities, work in an advisory capacity to the government, provide a common platform to its members for discussions relevant and important to the industry. Networking within the associations. Networking outside the association with the similar or related organizations. International organizations such as United Nations World Tourism Organization, Pacific Asia Travel Association, United National Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, and many more play a vital role in the development of tourism. The world over, they help in coordinating and synchronizing the efforts of public and private sector organizations on the international level. They work in an advisory capacity to various governments and private players across the world. They fund many development, conservation and preservation programs. They initiate research and development projects in the tourism industry and collect and maintain relevant data for the growth and development of the industry. Awareness. A destination might boast of the best of attraction, access, accommodation and amenities, but all these will fall short to bring in the tourists if the awareness component is missing. Unless people are aware of the existence of the basic components at a destination, there will be little or no scope for tourism. Awareness must be created, firstly amongst the local population, so that they have a positive approach toward tourism. If the native community perceive the tourist as a threat, then it will have a downing effect on the growth and development of tourism. Secondly, those who are in direct contact with the tourist must be well aware of the requirements of the tourists. They must be well trained and competent in their work. They must be capable enough to create a sense of confidence and positivity in the customers. Thirdly, people should be aware to the existing tourism market. Each destination must have its local and tourist awareness strategy in place. The destinations must make a friendly and positive impression about itself through well researched and properly coordinated marketing and promotion efforts, as this would play an important role in the decision making process of the tourist. So students, let's now summarize what we have learned in this module. The early motivations of travel were food, safety, trade, and in rare cases adventure and exploration. The change in outlook came with development and modernization. Technology proved to be the key word for progress, growth, new ideas and modernization. Literally, the inventions of the wheel rolled things into motion and human civilization never looked back. Every invention led to new horizons, roads, cars, inns, ships, trains, motor cars and airplanes changed the very motives for traveling. People become traveler by choice and enjoyed trotting the world for leisure, pleasure, adventure, exploration, research, business and much more. As the governments stabilized and infrastructures improved, the fascination for travel increased, especially for the purpose of education, sightseeing and religion. Today, tourism has become a primary activity. Thank you.